So yeah, it's just gone 9 o'clock in the UK. We are live. I'm really pumped and excited to be doing this. So just saying, those who listen on the audio experience now, I massively I acknowledge the fact that you lot on the audio experience particularly are only getting one episode of this a week because I've stopped doing a live broadcast on a Wednesday night. So just to fit other stuff into my life and bring you guys more content over on actsonthis.tv, Wednesday nights will now be reserved for me doing either podcasts or doing live broadcasts with casting directors, agents, directors, writers, producers, whatever, over on actsonthis.tv. But I'm aware you lot on the audio experience are missing out because you're only getting one piece of content like this a week. I'm going to start doing some exclusive podcasts on the Acts on This TV audio experience that you can download for free on iTunes or Stitcher.com. So you're actually going to, it's more of an impetus, you know what, for you lot who are watching live on the broadcast as well, and you might join me every Monday night to go and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes as well, because you're going to get stuff that isn't just the replay audio of these broadcasts now. You're going to get some extra stuff. I want to start doing like a diary, to be honest. I was thinking the other night, just basically sharing my thoughts on what's going on in my acting career, outside my acting career, and extra stuff that you don't see on my vlog, because we vlog a shed load of footage. If you don't know what a vlog is, guys, get yourself over to youtube.com/watch Ross. If you subscribe to the vlog, I'm going to be giving away a 150 quid later on April, isn't it? Yeah, towards the end of April, you're going to be doing a draw. You can win 150 quid cash, or get your Spotlight subscription paid for if you're an actor. I'll just pay for that for you. If you already paid for it, I'll just give you 150 quid cash, whatever you want. But yeah, you'll see stuff on my vlog around the scenes of my acting career, outside of my acting career, life, general. We interview entrepreneurs, all kinds of stuff. And I was thinking, you know what, stuff that doesn't make it on the vlog, I'm just going to basically record my thoughts, almost like a diary. I'll whack that out in the audio experience as well. I think sometimes that, me getting clarity in my own head helps other people get clarity. That's what I'm noticing on the vlog. When I turn the camera on myself and I'm a bit vulnerable, I'm like, look, this is how I'm feeling. I've had loads of comments from people today going, wow, because I talked about being overwhelmed on this week's vlog. Everyone's like, I feel exactly the same. I talk about something called the monkey trap that you need to go and watch on the vlog as well. That'll really help you get clarity. So, yeah, audio experience peeps, if you're listening to this, don't worry, I'm going to be giving you some exclusive audio as well. I'm super, super excited tonight. It's the book club tonight. We're looking at Gary Vaynerchuk's brand new book called Crushing It, and we're looking at a chapter of the book that I'm mega passionate about since starting my vlog. It's all about YouTube. I'm going to be playing you 2 videos tonight by Gary Vaynerchuk as well. You should definitely go and check out his vlog. He was a big impetus for me to start my vlog, Watch Ross, and also another guy in Manchester called Steve Bartlett, who I actually interview on this week's vlog. Well, he's cameraman Dodds. I interview on the vlog that's coming out, next Monday. I interview him as well. You're going to hear from both of these people. But ultimately, yeah, it's all about YouTube. Give me some comments. Has anyone here ever actually, thought of toying with the idea of YouTube? I know sometimes, particularly if you're an actor, YouTube could maybe get a bad name because you're like, oh, it's full of these bullshit little Logan Paul type characters. He's like a big vlogger. Get millions of views for being dickheads, right? If that's because I used to think that as an actor, YouTube's not a viable place for me to be and get attention. Oh, God, how wrong could I be? Victoria says she loves Gary. Everyone loves a bit of Gary Vaynerchuk. You're going to be seeing a couple of videos from him tonight. Gary, if you're watching, I've tweeted you. He probably isn't, but if you ever catch the replay on this, Gary, I'm playing out 2 of your videos. Hopefully there's no copyright material in there so I don't get shut down, but I hope everyone's all right. Dana Shuffles here on Facebook. I want to say hello to Lowry as well on Facebook as well. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about YouTube, using it as a platform as an actor or an entrepreneur or just anybody to get more attention. I'm going to explain how it's been happening for my vlog, an opportunity that came up this week, literally just through my vlog. Somebody saw my vlog on YouTube and they saw some promo of it on Twitter. This guy's a well-known actor in a very well-known soap on TV, reached out to me on a direct message to Twitter, goes, see, I saw this. Would you be involved with my video for this? And I'll explain that a little bit later on. That's an opportunity I never would have got had I not been doing this and putting stuff out with literally no expectation of a return. I've not known from the start how doing this weekly vlog, documenting my life, was going to open doors for me. I just felt it was the right thing to do. And now it's beginning to, show that that's actually happening. So before we start, give this a retweet, please. If you could do anything for me, just give this a retweet if you're watching on Twitter or Periscope. Give it a share if you're watching on Facebook. Tag a mate in it if you're like, you know what, my mate wants to get into YouTube or wants to, he's an actor and wants more attention. This person's a dancer, wants more attention. This person bakes, wants more attention. You can use YouTube literally for anything. We've got to start somewhere, says Victoria. You definitely do, honestly. So yeah, give this a retweet. Send it out to your mates on Facebook. And I'm going to read you part of the YouTube chapter of Gary's book. For those who don't know who Gary Vaynerchuk is, he's literally one of the world's authorities on social media marketing, owns a company called Vaynermedia. It's a $200 million business, runs it out of New York, London. He's opening up in the Far East. He's just an absolute legend when it comes to getting attention for brands, for people, building brands, building reputations. And he's a guy I've been following for quite a few years. He's just inspired loads of areas of my business. I just started my YouTube channel myself, said Victoria. Amazing. Post a link, Victoria. 10 people there. Whack it in the comments on here. Miss Gypsy Karen, thank you so much for retweeting this. Because YouTube, seriously, guys, I noticed that the platform's been around for quite a while now. I think 2006 is when it really started to kind of begin its journey. But there's still so much opportunity for people. Mark Joseph's here on Facebook. All right, Mark, good to see you, dude. Let me know if you've ever toyed with the idea of going, you know what, I'm going to put sketches on there. No, Mark, you do that as an actor. Other people might have a side hustle, might have a hobby, that you go, you know what, I'm an actor, but you know what, I really like baking cupcakes. I'm going to make a channel about baking cupcakes. And you can completely monetize that, totally earn some money out of that so that you don't have to do these shitty jobs that we all get stuck in as actors. And, ultimately end up just robbing ourselves of fulfillment. So Victoria, you need to get, if you've only just started your YouTube channel, Victoria, you're not going to have a short URL yet, are you? Because that's a bit of a gobbledygook URL you've posted there. What you can do is when you get, I think, over 100 subscribers, you can go to YouTube, and I think you have to have an account that's 30 days old, and you can actually choose a short URL. So mine, for instance, is youtube.com/watchross, as opposed to youtube.com/AC/B3498 or whatever it would be. So you definitely want to do that, Victoria, when you can. Just edited my 20th sketch, three series starting next week. Awesome, Mark. There you go. Let's have a look. So Gary says, listen, YouTube makes me so happy. It's here that I believe I can possibly help change a life faster than anywhere else. Since 2009, millions of people have quit their jobs and started making a living on this platform. It's the whole reason Crush It, Gary's book before Crushing It, it's the whole reason Crush It and this book and the books in between and everything else in my professional world came to be. Gary ultimately started off on YouTube. So let's have a look at that. He says, ironically, YouTube is also where I made one of the biggest mistakes in my career. I was a breakout star on YouTube in 2006, but by the time I started writing Crush It, I decided that Vidler, this was a rival platform to YouTube, that Vidler, its competitor, had a tagging system and management team that made it a superior platform for me and my content, which was unusually long by 2007 standards. In addition, I'll admit I was swayed by a short-term economic decision. The company gave me substantial equity in the business. I was certain that my advocacy and ability to put the platform in context for everyone would ensure its rise to prominence. It didn't at all. This was a big mistake. You should never have left YouTube. But I was wrong, okay? But you know what? It didn't matter, because in the end, whether I was talking Vidler, YouTube, or Google Video, my advice on how to crush it in video would have been 100% the same. But effectively, yeah, he went with a short-term economic win. Jamie, good evening. How are we doing, Jamie? He said, love the vlogs today. Appreciate you watching, man. Yeah, Gary basically sold out. He was doing really well on YouTube, had about 40,000 subscribers when that was big. Nowadays people have millions, when they're really big. But he moved over to Vidler because they tempted him with equity. Come here and we'll basically give you part of the company. He did. Big mistake. He ended up going back to YouTube a few years later. But he says, I suspect YouTube has created more wealth and more opportunities in the Crush It model than any other platform to date. It's certainly the most important platform for building a personal brand, hence why I got into vlogging this year. It's certainly the most important platform for building a personal brand, though Instagram is closing the gap quickly. Again, I'm going quite big on Instagram. It could take the place of television. Increasing numbers of people are streaming YouTube onto their TV screen and during primetime hours on an average day in the United States. More 18 to 49-year-olds visit YouTube than any other TV network, even on mobile alone. He says, and that's tough news. I know that not everyone who's reading this book is cut out for video, which is why I'm so thankful that other alternatives exist to beautifully showcase written word, for example, still images and audio. However, let's be real, with perhaps the notable exception of J.K. Rowling, author of the Harry Potter series, and a handful of other writers, in general, over the last 30 years, video stars have financially outperformed stars in every other medium. And you lot on here, most of you are all actors. Should be super into video, all right? And there's going to be opportunities for you lot on YouTube. You don't have to keep waiting for ITV to give you a job, Channel 4 to give you a job, BBC to give you a job. We can garner attention on these video platforms. So let's have a look how we do that. YouTube 101. Here's just some of the things he talks about in terms of how he dominated YouTube. He says, please, even if you don't think that your video material, give the platform a try. So many people don't think of themselves as camera worthy, but vlogging and documenting doesn't demand that you be glamorous or beautiful or really superficially special at all. Have you looked at what's out there? Aside from the beauty bloggers, the bodybuilders and the rising pop idols, in other words, aside from everyone in an industry where your looks really matter. And in acting, you know what? People go, oh, looks really matter. Yeah, they do. But you also, there's parts for every look out there, okay? There are vloggers with disfiguring tumours, vloggers with disabilities, vloggers of all ages and shapes, vlogging in a terrific way to document instead of create, which means that literally anyone can do it. You don't need to be accomplished, at least not in the way 99% of you reading this define accomplished, to break out on this platform. Because remember, when you're documenting, ultimately that's what I do on the vlog, just document my day. John, good evening on Facebook. When you're documenting, and not creating, you're allowed to learn as you go. When we first went out, episode 1 of my vlog, I mean, go and watch it. It's actually still pretty good, but we fluked it. We had no idea what we were doing. I gave Petch, my cameraman, the video cameraman, went, just film us, whatever we're doing today, just film it. We had no idea. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be successful yet. The only thing you really do have to do is make the road to getting there interesting. So whatever you're doing as an actor, as a voiceover artist like I do, document my way of doing it. I document creating a business right now as Master of Monocle, the clothing line that I'm doing. I'm just documenting the whole thing. I'm not creating shit. I'm not manufacturing things and going, oh, okay, let's make this up for entertainment purposes. Just entertaining stuff just happens in your life in terms of other people want to watch your life. When it's not your life, it's interesting to watch, isn't it? So he says, now interesting is subjective. You know what I find super interesting to watch? Videos about hitting up garage sales. He's really big on buying stuff cheap and flipping it and selling it on eBay. And I'm not the only one. As I write, a quick search on YouTube shows videos devoted to the topic of garage sailing, receiving as many as 50,000, 99,000, and 137,000 views. Don't ever decide for yourself that videos about you or the things you like to do won't be compelling to anyone else. Let the market decide. Trust me, it will be honest with you. So many people out there will be like, what's interesting about my life? The fact that it's your life. Ultimately, it's not my life. I will sit and watch stuff on YouTube of people documenting their lives who are doing things in completely different industries to me because it's interesting, because it's not my life. Vlogging, Gary says here, is a great equalizer, and YouTube is the vlogging mothership. It's the platform where the person no one thought would amount to anything can make it. It's a tool for finding your best angle, and I don't mean camera angle. If you have a lot of interests, if you aren't sure where your greatest skills lie, if you wonder whether you have the kind of charisma and appeal that draws audiences to YouTube personalities, or if you simply can't decide whether you'd rather be the #1 American authority on pajamas or the go-to guru for kombucha, it's like a health drink in America, pick up your phone and start documenting your day. Put the results up daily, okay, as a YouTube vlog. See which posts get the most attention and double down on whatever it is that's making those posts stick. But you have to put something out to know if you've got the goods. I didn't mull over whether I should start Wine Library, that was his show all about wine on YouTube, or debate whether I was good enough to deserve a YouTube audience. The second I thought filming a wine review show was a good idea, I had an employee go to Best Buy to buy the camera, filmed the first episode and posted it. That first episode looks and sounds totally different from the ones I created even 4 months later because I figured out that I could be me. I'd held back, not because I was worried about the opinion of the world at large, but because I was afraid if I really let loose, I'd jeopardize all the hard-won relationships the wine store had with long-term customers who bought $10,000 of wine from me every month. So he did this wine show and was like, really enjoying it. Thought, right, I'll just, go and do it. He came up with the idea of it one day. He sent an employee out to get the camera. Didn't, procrastinate about it and go, oh, I've got to get all the best gear and all this best light and all this shit. His first video looked dreadful. Go and look up Wine Library, episode 1 on YouTube from 2006. It looks awful. Gary himself looks pretty awful in that video. He wasn't looking after himself at all, wasn't in shape. But he just went, I'm just going to do it. I don't give a shit what people think of me. But he wasn't authentically being himself completely. So let's have a look at how that was really what exploded the brand. He said, if you look at the first episode, I'm almost unrecognisable. Not because I'm over a decade younger and 15 pounds heavier, but because my personality is so subdued. I say very wine experty things like, when I smell this, it reminds me of a classic Clinet or a VCC. I don't even know what that is. And I'm not going to push the Petrus. Don't even know what that is either. Then in episode 11, you can see on the wall behind me a framed black and white photo of Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier battling it out in the 1971 fight of the century. That may have been the first piece of the real me, the boxing-loving me, that made its way into the show. So gradually, he put a bit more of his personality into the show. Matt Hall, how you doing, dude? He's joined us on Facebook. So that was episode 11. Then in episode 40, I start talking about joy and passion and cut to a clip from the televised 2006 NFL, where I was caught on camera screaming my head off with excitement with my friends and my brother AJ in response to the announcement that the Jets, his favourite team, the New York Jets, had selected DeBrickashaw Ferguson, no idea who that is, an offensive tackle from the University of Virginia, over the quarterback, Matt Leinart. I was starting to reveal other sides of me because, as I said at the end of the episode, you've got to be passionate about other things beside wine. As actors, I think you've all got to be passionate about other things that isn't acting. So if you are doing a vlog, you'll see so many different things on my vlog that isn't just me acting and going after the acting industry. Yeah, you have way more mass appeal then. So he says, but by episode 57, I give a virtual finger to the establishment. Episode 58 gets me even more real with the title, I'm Not Pissed. He doesn't mean pissed as in the UK means pissed. I think he means angry, as in the US means pissed. I reveal that I turned down 2 network opportunities, one in a travel genre, one in a food and wine genre, because I didn't believe that TV was the future. Now remember, this is supposed to be a wine show. My energy is rising, my voice is going faster, and I'm being more direct. And then my confidence really kicks in with commitments like, we're the best marketers in the wine business. We don't need a blog to sell wine. I start dropping colourful phrases like bullcrap and taste the goddamn wine, like bright pomegranate seeds into my monologues. By episode 61, when I start asking for people to keep emailing me, because my email was confirming that I was hitting a nerve and getting people excited and interested, my opening is less masterpiece theatre and more WWE. So gradually, episode by episode, he was becoming more of himself and just allowing himself to be himself on YouTube. And that's what a lot of people who start YouTube channels forget to do. They're like, I have to fit a certain model, I have to copy somebody else, I have to be the something. It's kind of like, oh, I'm the Gary Vee of the acting industry. I'm the, I don't know, whoever you look at online, the what's he called, Thingy Logan of whatever. You don't have to be any of them. You've got to literally just be yourself. So as you can see, the delivery quality and content of Wine Library TV changed over time. I gave the show time to evolve. I gave myself time to get comfortable and relaxing at the format. I gave myself time to get to know my audience and listen to what it was saying. It's been pointed out to me that my first video was 10 times better than some people's hundredths in terms of quality and content. But again, quality is subjective. Some people are successful despite being complete idiots because the public loves to watch them be idiots. For sure, I'm coherent and you can tell I know my shit. That was definitely a good start. But remember, there's no way I could have known that I'd be good on video at that time. If I'd have sat on the idea of starting a wine show and worried and second-guessed myself, I could have probably found 100 reasons not to do it. Thank God I didn't stop to do any of those, but went with my gut. YouTube isn't going to make you charismatic and interesting, but it will expose you if you are. It can't do that, however, if you don't put yourself out there. Give yourself a year to adjust and try different approaches and see what kind of response you get. I've given myself till the 27th of September this year to do this vlog. I will have been doing it for an entire year then. Watch Ross. And the views are going up every week. The comments I'm getting are going up every week. The direct messages I'm getting are going up every week. And we started off with not many. And we're still only in around like the 500 mark. But you've got to give yourself a chance and give yourself time. How come you're doing the book club on a Monday, says Jamie? Because, Jamie, we're going to every other Monday. So basically what we're doing now, don't do a broadcast on a Wednesday night. I'm going to start doing live broadcasts with acting industry people over at actsonthis.tv on a Wednesday night. And we're going to alternate the book club and motivation and mind hacks every Monday. So I'm still going to do a live broadcast for you guys every Monday, but we're going to do motivation and mind hacks one week, book club the next week, motivation and mind hacks one week, book club the next week. And then Wednesday nights are going to be brought, over onto actsonthis.tv, and we're going to be doing like industry stuff over on there. So it just gives people more value, I guess. But I will start doing exclusive podcasts and stuff as well over on the Acts on This TV audio experience for free to make up for the fact that you're only getting one of these a week. So, back to this, he says, listen to your audience. Ultimately, it all boils down to this. Don't let perfection be your enemy. Do not be another dreamer who puts up 10 episodes, gets trolled or ignored, gets discouraged, and takes the channel down. I so could have done that. We're only on episode 22 right now. So could have took it down after 10 because it's freaking exhausting, but I reckon the payoff is going to be there. For God's sake, give yourself a fair chance to succeed. Who's done a vlog and took it down after less than 10 eps? Or done a YouTube show and took it down after 10 eps? Let me know right now. I want to know who's done that, because if you have, I want you to start it again, and I still want you to go I want you to go literally for like a minimum of 6 months, but I need you really to go for a year to see if this thing's actually going to pop. But do let me know. Worst thing to do, says Victoria, it really is. You get excited, you start taking action, and you go, oh, I don't have 1 million views overnight. Of course you're not going to get 1 million views overnight. It's ridiculous. So he says every single thing that has ever happened on television can happen on YouTube. You can break out as a pop star. You can be a filmmaker. You can become Billy Mays, the infomercial pitchman. You want to become a morning TV star? Start a morning TV show on YouTube. You want to be the next Dr. Drew? Start a Q&A show. You want to be the next Rachel Ray, Oprah, or Chris Hardwick? Don't know them bar Oprah. Then start cooking, mentoring, interviewing, or talking pop culture on YouTube tomorrow. Yes, it'll be harder. It'll be harder today than it would have been had you started doing it in 2011. When there are a lot of people watching but not as many creating. But if you're really talented, smart, funny, or creative, you will win. It might take you a few more months or even years than it would have taken in 2011, but it will happen. Taking the document, don't create approach means you're constantly, conceivably going to pour a shitload of boring content into the miasma of boring content already living on YouTube, and that's okay. You know why? Because it's if in the end the rest of the world agrees that your content is boring, you'll know that you're not cut out for this and you can move on to something else. Or it might be because you'll get an email from one of the 6 people who watched episode 94 of your 200 yarn episodes, who happens to be the CEO of your favourite yarn company, telling you he'd love to work together one day if you're interested. So this happened to me, right? I've been putting these things out on YouTube for 5 months. Watch Ross, youtube.com/Watch Ross, not knowing who the hell was going to watch, whether there would be any return. And this stuff is costing me about $7,000 a year right now because I pay a cameraman to film me. You don't have to do that. Pick up your phone and film yourself. It's fine. Like I say, the first thing, it happened yesterday. The first door that this opened without me having to ask happened yesterday. I get a DM off a very well-known actor in UK soap, works on Emmerdale, says, hey, watch this. Basically all this stuff is just me presenting, isn't it? Presenting. My vlog is a real good training ground for presenting effectively. It's like, look, I'm doing this massive charity ball. It's full of VIPs, full of famous people in April. I do a video every year, like a spoof video to play at the ball. Will you host that video? Well, I'm like, hell yeah. Of course I will, because again, that gets me and my face out there in that room full of people in there, and I don't know who's going to be there, who if I ended up going to that, I could get to meet, etc. But he might have only just watched 60 seconds of episode 19 of what might end up being a 300 episode vlog, but that's an opportunity, and you don't know who might watch next time. You just got to keep going, guys. Seriously, you just got to keep going. You never know what's going to go on. He says, look, you decide you're never going to become a PBS star. Call him up and work out a deal when you create educational videos for the company website. That's PBS, the network in the States. PBS do Downton Abbey, don't they, in the States? He goes, they're a big company, so they get 400,000 views per episode. Okay, so making videos for a company, yeah. Allowing you to build your brand through them. That's another thing with collaborations. You can collaborate with people who already have massive audiences. They're also big enough to pay you very well to do something you love. You might end up getting paid by that company to do work with them. He goes, you might get discovered. It might be that even though the general public didn't get caught up in your craft beer vlog, you had more fun doing that than you've ever had in your career as a software developer. So you approach Yuengling, that must be a make of craft beer in the States, about making educational training videos for their staff, and they bring you on board for a high 5-figure salary. The pay isn't that different from what you earned before, but you go to bed happy every Sunday, excited to get back to work the next day. Ultimately, you just never know what opportunities are going to come up through basically putting yourself out there on the internet. Did you become a millionaire? No. but only a tiny percent of the people who try this will. That's irrelevant. The point is to dream big and then make the practical adjustments necessary once you see where your potential lies. However, you will never ever know the extent of that potential until you try. I guarantee it's greater than you think it is. For a couple of years now, the tech-savvy early adopters have been watching YouTube on their television sets. Very soon, everyone is going to be doing it, and the next generation will not see any difference between the two. YouTube will be television. Television will be YouTube. YouTube is a monster. And yet Facebook is also making plans to add more features that will make it look a lot like YouTube. With YouTube in possession of a decade of equity as the established video platform, however, Facebook is going to have to work its ass off to compete. As you're about to see, it's going to be one hell of a fight. And then the rest of the chapter goes on to talk about things that you can do. And just ideas about, what you could have around channels you could have on YouTube. But I swear to God, you can create a YouTube channel that can be successful and you can monetize out of anything. Literally any hobby, interest you have, even just your life. That there's a guy who runs something called the Pointless Vlog, which is basically him washing up and shit like that, doing pointless stuff. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. He's married to another vlogger called Zoella. They make millions of pounds each due to their YouTube channel. And the amount of attention and opportunities that then gets them within the TV world, within the book world, etc., is absolutely incredible. But so many people don't bother starting to, even to try any kind of breakout kind of show on YouTube, is because they're shit scared of either the work. They don't think, I can't do the work, or they're really scared of what people might think of them, or the other thing. And I want to play a video now. The other thing is people think they're too old to do it or something like that. That's not going to be the case. Sharon says, how do you monetize on YouTube? So there's a few ways to monetize on YouTube, Sharon. When you get a certain amount of subscribers on YouTube and you end up with a certain amount of watch hours, so in terms of how many people have watched your videos, it might take you 6 months to build up enough. That's probably what it's looking like on my channel on Watch Ross. You then get to monetize your videos, which means at the start of the video, you allow YouTube to play an advert before. You can allow it to play an advert in the middle, an advert afterwards. You can have an overlay advert on there if you want, depending on how aggressive you want to go on the ads. And then you get paid every time those adverts show. So friends of mine who have got motivational YouTube channels, and they create motivational videos that, yes, they're getting a couple of 100,000 hits, each. Honestly, they're only £7,000 a month off YouTube revenue. It's insane, and it's not, the revenue is not as big as it used to be because the channels are a lot more saturated now. But you can still, what would an extra £100 a month do for you? An extra 250 quid a month do for you in your life right now in terms of that mortgage payment, or doing that extra thing that you want to do on a weekend that you can't really afford to do every week. Victoria says, that's me. You don't have to go, I'm going to become a millionaire out of this, or I'm going to earn 5, 6, 7 figures out of this. I'm just trying to get you guys to think, actually, how would an extra £200-300 a month feel in my life? Oh, who's this? Someone showing the thong and a bit naked has just popped up on Twitter. They're clearly a robot, so just block them. Or maybe, maybe we should have kept them on. Could have got a bit interesting. They're getting a lot of views on YouTube, tell you that. But yeah, you don't have to be going, right, I'm going to be the guy who gets 10 million views or whatever. You might be like the person who just likes knitting, and you create a knitting channel, and everyone else who loves knitting watches your channel every week. And then, before you know it, you've got a community, of 30,000 subscribers, and you go, right, I'm earning 500 quid a month from YouTube ads. It's awesome. Seriously, but you've got to start. And you don't need to create anything crazy like Gary says. You can just document what you're doing. Go, right, here you go. I'm going to set up a camera whilst I'm knitting. I'm going to talk to people whilst I'm knitting. And this video might be 30 minutes, and there you go, I've knitted half a scarf, there you go, and I'm going to show you how I do that, and just talk to you about stuff. And people can watch my video whilst they're knitting, and we can knit together virtually. I know it sounds crazy, but this is what people do. It's massive. So one of the things that really holds people back, Victoria says you've got to enjoy it and trust the process. You do. That's what I'm having to do right now. I'm like, wow, holy shit, this is costing me a lot of money every month. I don't know if there's any return. I could put that 700 quid a month this is costing me into investing in something else that would seem to give me a far greater return in the short term, but I'm in it for the long term, and I'm like, right, I'm going to see where this leads. Sharon says she croquets. You could crochet, not croquet. That's that thing where you hit the ball, isn't it? Eugene Collins, my man, he's joined us on Twitter. But yeah, for those who are feeling a bit old and they're like, oh, this is a bit beyond me, you know, it's only the younger kids who can monetize YouTube and, you know, get attention on there and explode. No, I'm going to play you a 6-minute video from Gary Vee for the 60-year-olds plus who might be watching this. Even if you're not 60 plus, watch this because it's freaking like, it's just so relevant. I'll be back in 6 minutes. You will enjoy this though. This video first. Here we go.
The Monday rant video was reverse engineered. Like I just knew that people would like want to watch it, and that's what I also think is going to happen here. Basically, I want this film to give you the audacity to actually go out and do it. You're 52 years old, and it's not being talked about enough that, hey man, hey gal, like it's not over. If you want it so bad, if it's in you, like, you know, maybe it's not time to take up golf or, you know, pack it in. Maybe it's time to actually triple down and really focus on your 7 p.m. to 2 in the morning. There's so many people that truly are good entrepreneurs or have entrepreneurial DNA, but they just weren't lucky enough to be born during an era that seemed practical. Like it's just so, like, it's hard for somebody who's for 30 years gone a certain blueprint to understand that this is that realistic, and they feel like it's a young man's sport, and it's just not. Like, it's just not. It's, you know, if you've got the right DNA and you're a 72-year-old female, you have just as good of a bat as a 27-year-old dude. But you've been trained and story told to and positioned and lived in a 50-year matter that doesn't feel like this thing in here is a practical way to build that, but it is. Entrepreneurship is not predicated on taking away from your family. Entrepreneurship is from taking away from everything else. So stop making excuses. Oh, these millennial kids are so entitled. Oh, these kids didn't have to work as hard as we did. Nobody cares if you're 40, 70, 90, alien, female, male, minority. The market will accept your victories if you're good enough to have a victory. And I believe more than ever that if you're a 49-year-old housewife with 2 kids, because of this phone, you've got more opportunities to create something for yourselves. Please, my friends, do not allow just the 18 and 14 and 22-year-olds to grab at this pie that is so available to all of us, regardless of our age. We're gonna live longer. The opportunity is real. For the 58-year-old right now that's watching this, you're gonna live another 40 years. 40 years of being able to do something you love is a big deal. Start putting in the work. Start recognizing this isn't just a young person's game. Start representing the people that actually put in the work, the gray hairs, that context, that knowledge. Start deploying that. Educate yourself on the new world. Yes, you didn't grow up with Instagram. You didn't grow up driving, and you learned that. Stop making excuses. Start getting educated in the actual world and start opening up the opportunities. In my true opinion, you are actually more likely to be successful in building a company at 45, 50 today than the 18-year-olds that are coming out because there's a naivete, a lack of experience. You have experience. You have experience. Like, that's a real thing. Like, cool. Like, youth and excitement is great. You have actual business experience. There's a plenty amount of talent. There's plenty amount of talent. And there's a ton of fire and bravado. And there's a confidence. There's a confidence that youth provides. But the difference between me and so many of you is I've put in the goddamn work to learn where people's attention now is, and I'm deploying myself through there. Many of you have drawn a line in the sand and say, I'm not downloading Snapchat, I'm not downloading Instagram, and that, my friends, is gonna allow you to lose. This video is made for one reason. I want it to be the calling card, the seed of the explosion of the 40 to 80-year-old entrepreneur in our society. The fire I see in the eyes of a 19, 20, 25-year-old that feels that they're entitled to this, and then on the flip side, the diminishing, just a little bit of ashes with a little smoke left of that same entrepreneur when they were 22, at 46, when practicality and family dynamics and the history and the market tearing down and the lack of that same opportunity has just dwindled down to a moment where they don't believe that they've got that shot. And I'm here to tell you, you absolutely do. I mean, there are absolutely a ton of entrepreneurs that started their companies in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s when it was difficult to do such a thing. Sidney Frank, who created Grey Goose, didn't invent his big thing until in the 70s. And so I'm desperate to give you the springboard to say, you know what? Instead of watching House of Cards seasons, instead of trying to, go to ball games or things of that nature. Yeah, I do have 7 p.m. till 2 in the morning, Monday through Friday. Heck, for a lot of you, the kids are out of the house. I mean, let's get into the practicality for the late 40s, 50s, 60-year-olds that are watching this right now. The kids are out of the house. Like, yeah, you could pick up golf, or you could finally start that candle company because you put pretty pictures of candles on Instagram and it happens. Learn the craft. Figure out the opportunity at hand, go attack it. You only live once. When you're 90 to 100 years old and you're regretting that you never built this business and you let this era pass, this moment where there's so much entrepreneurial upside, you'll regret it, and regret is the worst. I mean, that's what it is. At least the way I see it. Like, I got home at midnight last night. And every fucking night. Like, it's just real. Like, just, I don't have to. So, I don't know. I think there's a real opportunity to inspire a generation that so deserves it. Like, I almost feel like that's being 40. I feel like I'm caught right in the middle. Like, I have so much empathy for. I recognize how insane I had to be to like. I mean, you can't even imagine how not practical being an entrepreneur was when I was your guys, like when I was half your age, like in school, like a 15-year-old now in school that's getting D's, but is like selling shit on the internet. Everyone's like, oh, there's our next, you're the next Mark Zuckerberg. And mine was like, yo, you're the next piece of shit. Like it's so insanely different. And so I have a lot of empathy for people that I don't know if they recognize how real it is.
Isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting? Like, literally, there is so much opportunity out there on this thing called the internet, the very thing that you are watching me broadcast this live on now, and yet so few people can kind of see it. And like you said there, if you are a little bit older and you are in that bracket of 40 to 80, 90, whatever it is, you've got like massively relevant experience that you can use. And finally, because unfortunately, yeah, you weren't born in the era where this was possible, like growing up, you're still alive in this era where it's possible. I just think you're doing yourself a massive disservice if you don't at least give it a crack in something that you do. I can see on the comments here, Sharon says she crochets. Inez, I don't know if that's how you say your name, Inez. You're one of my bulletproofers, I should know this. Said I would definitely pay good money to watch you crochet, Sharon. There's an audience for everything. Kathy here says, you just mentioned knitting, just as I was wondering which of my many interests I could vlog about. I'm an avid knitter. Kathy, start a knitting vlog. Seriously, I need to learn video editing, somebody said, but you don't necessarily. Honestly, if you look at my vlog, yeah, there's loads of editing and tricks involved and all that sort of stuff. You don't need to start there, though. I see people who do the most basic videos online getting way more views than me. Don't be fooled by that, because you're going to put it off by telling yourself you need to learn video editing, and you don't. This is what a lot of people do. I could see, it's really interesting actually. I can see a lot of people are watching on Facebook right now. I can see the numbers of people who are watching on Twitter and Periscope as well. And as Gary's video is playing out there, some of the most real advice you'll ever hear for like starting up something that you can be passionate about, something you want to do that can change your life. And I can see the numbers dropping off because I can see people going, nah, it's not for me, this, forget it. Those people, I promise you, I swear to God, are just going to lose in life. Because they just don't want to put in any of the work. As actors, they're the ones who sit at home just waiting for their agent to do the work for them. They go out with their other actor friends who are doing nothing and waiting for their agents just to phone them. None of their agents are ringing. They sit around, they bitch, and I don't understand why no casting directors inviting me, and why is no one ringing me up, giving me opportunity? Because you ain't putting yourself out there, and you're not putting yourself out there because you can't be freaking bothered. Therefore, you're going to lose. Full stop. This is the era we are in. In the book we just read there, the next generation, the kids who are growing up now, they will not know the difference between TV and YouTube. TV is YouTube to them. YouTube is TV to them. Get the YouTube app on your phone. You will see a little arrow at the top of it that airdrops whatever's playing on your phone to your TV, to your Mac, to whatever. It's never been easier to watch. You can watch this broadcast now, if you watch it on Facebook, on your TV by literally just airdropping it. Some people do. They send me pictures of watching this broadcast live on like a massive 55-inch TV in their room. The internet is becoming TV. And if you're not going to embrace that because as an actor you traditionally want to work on TV, you're cutting out such a massive part of the market. It's like so freaking true, and it's just interesting seeing, like I said, the numbers are coming back up now, but seeing, whilst Gary's on there giving this info out, people are like, nah, not interested in that, don't want to do that. You can take a horse to water, man, but I just can't, can't do it for you. Kathy says, this resonates so much with how I was feeling last night. I had a few minutes, only a few, I promise, when I was thinking, why the hell am I continuing to strive in so many areas and book myself onto so many training courses, modules, workshops, etc., when I'm 61, for God's sake? Who the heck will want to employ me now? And I wish I felt so much motivated. I felt motivated 20 years ago. I told myself off, went to bed, and I'm continuing to strive today. You got to 61, Kathy. You're so freaking young, and you've got so much more experience than I have in the world that you can put into something you're interested in. How many other 61-year-olds are out there would rather watch you on YouTube than me? Lots, I'd imagine. Probably all of them, almost. So you've got to. You've got to realize how much time you've got left on the clock. You could have 35 years left on this planet, maybe more. We're living longer. What are you going to do for 35 years? Berate yourself that you weren't born 40 years later than you were? You can't change that. What are you going to do with your DNA whilst you're here? Let's not have any of that bullshit knocking around. I'm glad you've got yourself out of that little strife. I'm going to play you literally, just for those who don't know my vlog, I'm going to play you a 60-second clip of this to show you the sort of thing that I do, and then I'm going to play you one more video from Gary that I hope will, well, it's what we're going to end on tonight. I really hope will inspire. This is 60 seconds of literally my episode that came out today. It's episode 22 of my vlog. You'll see kind of how I do it. It's not how everyone needs to do it, but it's a dead simple format. Just check it out. Hi guys, sorry to interrupt this little romantic thing you've got going on. Do you believe in the law of attraction? Over the last couple of years, I've not been actively against, but I haven't bought into the law of attraction. Sometimes you've got to let go of the thing you're holding on to in order to escape and allow new things that are going to help you grow and become more than you already are into your life. I have always required science behind success and science behind the things that I do, and ultimately formulas and knowing that this plus this equals this.
So you have to just be bold, be brave, stand up straight and just go for it. What is the worst that's going to happen? Hopefully nobody will die.
My school of thought is beginning to change on the law of attraction. Don't believe in fate, destiny?
No.
It's a no. It's a non-believer. There you go. Just 60 seconds. This week we were out and about vlogging kind of meetings and that fly on the wall stuff there when we were in the car and that kind of thing. We got talking about the law of attraction, so we decided I would basically just go out to the traffic centre and start asking people if they knew what the law of attraction was. And we just filmed until we got thrown out. Didn't ask permission. We just went, right, I'm basically going to go and do it, as opposed to procrastinating. Yeah, we got kicked out, but now we know how to get a pass so we can film at the traffic centre for next time. So mine's really just, we have Petch, the cameraman, who just comes around with us, just filming me and Sean as we go around business meetings. Sometimes I go in the studio to do voiceovers, auditions, meetings with people, etc., etc. We don't really create something. We did this week in a way of just interviewing people with that microphone, but a lot of the time it's literally just interviewing our mates. We'll go for dinner with someone, we'll go, right, talk to us about your business, talk to us about what you're doing, etc. And again, the audience is growing, and like I say, I'm getting opportunity from that, not because I'm even asking for stuff or I'm trying to manufacture stuff. I'm just putting stuff out there, and the more attention you can have on yourself, the more opportunity it's just going to bring. I swear to God, that's just the way. There you go. Someone's just literally commented, really interesting vlog, Ross, and now another thing's gone on there. As in, I just got a notification from YouTube to say someone's just watched it, and has been commenting there as well. Shout out to Myra Ford. I think that was you. She's not watching live now, but she's obviously watched the vlog I just saw. But yeah, people are watching all the time. And what used to take us a day to get up to the number of views is now only taking us a couple of hours to get to that number of views, and so on and so on. So it is growing, just takes momentum. We weren't getting consistently higher views by episode 10. I didn't give up though. We're still not getting loads. Like I said, we're getting about 500 or so a week. It's not masses, but it's growing, I'm prepared to stick it out. I'm going to finish tonight on one more video from Gary. It's a little bit longer than the one before, but it's going to say, because it'll take about 9 minutes, something like that. And if this doesn't get you to start, you're a lost cause for me right now. I will continue to peck your head though and make you do something that isn't just sitting at home waiting for something to happen to you and someone to discover you, because it isn't going to happen. I will continue at you, I'll continue on at you for this. But have a listen to this. Just before I play that, once again, if you do subscribe to my vlog, youtube.com/watchross, In April, I'm going to choose a subscriber at random. Every comment you make on an episode of my vlog counts as an entry, basically. I'm going to draw someone at random in April, and I'm going to send you £150 in cash. I'll probably do a FaceTime call with you as well and get you on the vlog to prove ultimately that I've given the 150 quid out. Because it's not some sort of bullshit thing, you know. It's like, oh, it's just a fake competition. Sandra Rock, who won, I do this every quarter, she won at Christmas, a New York actress, awesome actress from New York. She won 150 quid. So it's not just in the UK. You're just going to get the cash basically wherever you're watching from. You guys in the States, still go and subscribe, and you can win 150 quid. But yeah, just freaking start. Whatever it is that you want to do, online. Start making videos. You will, it's fun, it's creative. You're going to enjoy it as an actor or whatever you're doing on here. There's a lot of writers on here and directors, etc. If you've nothing to do with that industry, though, being creative is good. Great book club. I'm going to get my hooks, wool, and phone out, says Sharon. Excellent. Do some crochet on camera. Whack it up. See how many views you get. Crushing it. Gary Vee says the last week we spent on this book. Go check it out. It's literally a Bible of how you can crush it on social media, how great entrepreneurs build their business and influence, and how you can too. Love the guy. Here's this little video from Gary we're going to end on. I can still see your comments during this video as we're playing it out. Don't leave. Watch this. Let it inspire you and just begin. Just start. I hope it's been inspiring so far. And I'll catch up with you guys very, very soon. We'll be back next Monday for Motivation and Mind Hacks, but I will let you know about any broadcast between now and then that I can manage to set up with people in the acting industry. They're going to be over on actonthis.tv. Brian's here just in time. All right, Brian. Wendy's now joined on Facebook as well. Check this out, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. All right, bye for now. Those on the audio experience, you legends. Thank you for listening. All right, see you in a bit. Bye for now.
What's interesting about fear and excuses is if you reverse engineer them backward to the seed of where it's coming from, it means that a stunning majority of the people in this audience are actually tied up in caring about somebody else's point of view on them. And I'm really fascinated by that. Fear's holding you back. You know what you want to do. The only reason you're not doing it is because you're scared of doing what you actually want to do. So what are you scared of, failing?
Not failing, but still being at the same place when my friends are at the next level.
Huge mistake. You don't want the same thing your friends want. So why do you care what they have? Number one mistake so many people make is they care about what other people have. I don't care what anybody has. If I have more, if I have less, doesn't matter. I worry about myself. The fact that you're worrying about other people's accomplishments is already a losing formula. You need to get rid of that first, then you can focus on yourself. I would argue that well more than 50% of the people in this audience are here today because they worry about the way they would be judged by one and/or two family members in their inner 7-8 people circle. If you're not feeling it, find new friends. I'm being dead serious about this. This one is real big for me. Who you hang out with is a huge deal. And again, these are all tried and true things, right? We've heard you're the whatever of the 5 friends you spent, that's real. Add one new winner friend. You know what I mean? Add one new winner friend and cut one loser friend. Yeah, I know he's been your boy since 4th grade, but he sits at home and smokes weed and plays 2K all day. You can only love him so much. And to me, that is the most fascinating thing that's happening as I'm going through my journey, which is, the reason I am capable and have the luxury of standing up here is that my parents parented me in a way that gave me so much self-esteem while respect. When I was 9 years old and opened the door for an elderly woman at a McDonald's, she reacted as if I won the Nobel Peace Prize.
Good mom.
What my mom did was super smart. She overreacted on everything that I was doing. That was a good human trait. My mom built huge self-esteem in me, and I feel like the biggest reason I am who I am today to everybody is because I feel so guilty and so grateful for what she did for me that I want to do it for everybody else, which is, guess what? You suck at a ton of good. So does everybody else. You're also probably pretty rad at something. Try as many things as possible until you figure out what you're rad at and you like, and go do that for the rest of your life and stop giving about everybody else. There's just an incredible, like kind of access point of like what you're great at and what you love. When you stumble into being somebody like me, you really win. When what you're naturally great at is what you naturally love the most, and away you go. And so I think what you need to do is taste everything. It's kind of like food. You don't know what your favorite food is if you only eat one food. So I would take advantage of your youth and your flexibility at this kind of age and try to taste everything, play with everything, figure out what you might be good at, what you might like, and then you make a decision. It's a very fine balance. I don't stand up here not giving a about what people think about me. It's just that I care just a little more about what I think about myself than everybody else combined. And I just think a lot of people are crippled by going on the offense because we are sold defense. We are sold defense. We just are. Offense is always the best defense. Offense always solves problems as long as your defense is not a complete disaster. So I just think offense is a very good mentality. There is a trigger mindset. I'm always trying to stay on offense.
I always say I hear from everybody who wins. I think the fear of losing trumps the excitement of victory for so many people. I think people are so scared. Nobody wants the rejection. Nobody wants to lose. So I understand the philosophy. I understand that string of DNA that doesn't want to make you lose. But I'm so desperate to figure out how to convince people that there is no loss in going for it. That, yeah, you might get made fun of and you might have it in your own mind, but trying to figure out how to make people drop that fear of going and building a business for themselves in 2012. Trying to figure out how to make a video or give a talk or send a tweet or write a book, just something that makes people understand that executing the way it always is going to lead you to a place where you're not going to win.
Life's funny, bro. And I think that a lot of people are sitting here for another reason than those two: fear, judgment of others. And this one's I'm obsessed with if you're following me. And I just think most of you lack patience. I tell these 23-year-olds, 26-year-olds all the time to be patient because they should. How old are you?
44.
I'm 40. Do you know how young we feel? When you were 26, did you ever think that this is what 44 felt like?
No.
You thought that was finished?
Yeah.
Like, you think a 40-year-old, like, when I was 25 years old, I thought a 40-year-old was finished. I don't even feel like I'm starting. It's a balance of regret and patience. Like, you can go hard for 3 years, do nothing right, wake up, and be young. You should really go to a retirement home one day and volunteer and just talk to them. It will make you want to do every minute of your life, because when you see regret in a man's eyes, it's painful because you can't do about it. When you're 90 and you're not mobile and you're tired and it's over, you can't do it. You can't do it. You can't build that company you wanted. You can't spend that time with your kid. It's regret. And it drives the shit out of me. I think that patience has been the disproportionate component of my success.
So what should we do, Gary Vee? Let's wrap this up.
Yeah,
what should we
do?
What should people do?
People should stop complaining.
Right.
People should figure out who they are.
Good call.
People should not listen to America propaganda of fixing the they suck at. They should be tripling down on what they're good at. They should be competent in certain areas, but you're not gonna become Beyonce or, like your bone structure is a certain way. Like, you're not gonna solve everything. Your IQ can get a little bit better, but don't worry about the incremental. Figure out what puts you on fire and you're halfway decent at. If you're lucky enough right now to be listening and you're good at what you like, become tunnel vision. Because there's way too many voices telling you what and how. And here's the other thing, and this is the big one, Joe. Have the conversation with the person that's holding you back. The reason most people who are listening right now are not doing that thing is they're worried about the opinion of somebody, usually their mother, usually their father, And the reality is that your spouse may be the person holding you back, and you have to have that conversation.
Cut him off.
We have to get to a place where you're doing you, because the number one thing that scares out of me is regret. And you're gonna sit there at 72 and you're gonna say, I wish. And whether that's money or spend more time with your family, there's a million ways to do this. Not everybody wants to buy the jets. Not everybody wants to smoke weed on the beach in Bahamas. Like, everybody's got a different thing. Figure out what your thing is and stop making excuses. Who the president is, your mom did this, like I missed it, I had that idea for Uber. Then why didn't you do it?
There's a reason that guys and gals like me continue to have audiences, because people want to be motivated to go and do things, or they want to learn tactics to go and do things. But whether I'm giving you tactical advice like filters on Snapchat or Facebook ads or Instagram story collaborations, or I'm motivating you through my words, because I communicate that way, or through my actions, seeing this wake up at 5, work with it. If everybody who's watching this actually did something about it, and then went on the course of their version of it, and then they wouldn't be watching this. And I genuinely know at the bottom of my heart, out of all the people that want to build audiences, that I'm the complete opposite of almost all of them. Because 99% of people that produce content like this and are out there like I am, the business of being that is what they are. I have businesses. I have Wine Library and VaynerMedia. I don't need your $14 for my book, or to be in my course, or this and that. So I don't need to monetize you. So I then genuinely want you to never watch me again. The problem is, every time you guys are posting, do you know how many times I see on my Instagram, oh, I needed this today? And do you know how many times I see that person 9 months later still hanging around? If you needed it, then take it and do something about it. The reason there's gonna be 1 billion motivational views today on YouTube is that people love the feeling of being motivated. They don't like putting in the work to do something about the feeling. I hate the motivation me until you do something about it.